Hello everyone, I'm TimberFinz, and here we are. Finally, it's been almost a year since the last episode, but here is Unchained Main's engineer, and I am really excited to show you guys this video. And we have three special guests. One of them couldn't record it, so I recorded his lines. He sent me his script, and the other two, I think you'll like, and one of them is a good old man. So I would like to introduce Raven, SirDuck, and the man himself, Uncle Dane. And I will have my lines explaining why I'm an engineer, really just explaining who engineer mains are at the end. So, take it away.
Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, and everything between. My name is raven33mn, but wait a minute, I am not on the raven33mn YouTube channel you should have subscribed to by this point. What is going on? I am breaking rules. Rules are meant to be broken or else they'd be pointless. Seriously though, today I've been asked by my very good friend TimberFinz to answer the question, why do I main engineer? But in order to answer that question just a little bit better, I'm going to ask a different one. Why did I switch from a heavy main to an engineer main? Since a few of you do know, I used to main heavy, but now I main engineer. I have heavy videos still up, because that's the only thing I really upload on my channel, let's face it. But that's all going to change soon, trust me. But recent months, I've been putting a lot more time, effort, and let's face it, money into the engineer. But how come? Why have I automatically switched mains, pretty much? And that's the question I'm going to be answering pretty much live today, so sorry for stuttering, TimberFinz. I am not very good at speaking, but and let's answer the question. First of all, as an engineer main, I get to be way more independent than I did as heavy. When I mained heavy, I always had to worry about in the back of my mind, or just rely on my team to watch my back for flankers so I didn't have to take care of them, I could focus on what's in front of me. I always had to rely on a medic or engineer to supply me with health or ammo that I may not be able to get. Sure, a lot of unlocks help me compensate for this, but let's face it, a banana and a pair of boxing gloves with flames on it isn't going to compensate for a medic or a teleporter all the time. But as an engineer, I don't need to worry about my team helping me all that much, as weird as it sounds. I don't need to worry about flanking scouts or soldiers because I got a turret to do that for me. I don't got to worry about where my next health and ammo are going to come from because I have a dispenser to give me that. I don't literally need to lose half my health just to get to the front lines or take literally 5 years because I got teleporters to help me do that instantly. And even if I don't got a sentry by my side, I still have a lot more weapons and varieties to defend myself with without a sentry gun than heavy could ever get. For example, an engineer has the Widowmaker, which automatically reloads after every hit. You have the Frontier Justice that rewards clever sentry placement and timing and rewards you with guaranteed critical hits. You have the Short Circuit that literally fires a massive energy ball that just yeets rockets and pipes out of existence. You got the Rescue Ranger that allows me to heal my buildings and save them without being anywhere near them. You have the Eureka effect that lets me get behind enemy lines if I have a clever teleporter and basically help my team get to there too. It's called Ninjaneering. You ever heard of it? But heavy, you got gun. More accurate and OP gun. Gun that pisses people off. Gun that pisses me off, and gun that pisses Spy off. Yeah, there's really not a lot of variety. A lot of it is still just shoot gun at people. Left click on the good, or left click on the bad guys, right click on the good guys. But as an engineer, there's a lot more fun and variety to be had. The moment I officially, quotation marks, you can't see this, that I'm doing the quotation marks thing, but I'm doing it in real life, switched mains, I had a lot more fun and had a lot more incentive to play the game because it just opens up so much more fun and creativity than Heavy could ever offer. Not that he's not a fun or good class, because I still play him often, but Engineer has just opened up a lot more fun and opportunity for me. And that, ladies, gentlemen, or whatever you just so happen to be, that is why I, raven33mn, the 33rd Raven of a land called Minnesota, mained the Engineer from Team Fortress 2.
I took up competitive engineer back in 2016, shortly after I discovered the scene. I found that he was pretty easy to bridge the casual comp gap with, and always seemed to be in demand amongst the Highlander teams. I enjoy how NG is just a bundle of unchecked potential. Everyone expects to be 2 hit by a scout, but will be shocked when an engineer does it. Even in high-level play, people don't realize what kind of disasters you can actually generate. They just don't see you as a threat until it's too late. It's fantastic. I've had many med drops just by walking at the enemy and having them ignore me. Nobody ever expects an engineer to do something that isn't build a sentry in the spot. You can create pure chaos. For example, be blue, go to a payload last and just build in place where the red engine normally does, or screw it, just build in the middle of the cap. They won't stop you. That's why I play engineer. He's a relaxing, laid-back class when you play normally, and at any point, you can just make a mess and throw everyone off. You don't even need to worry about spies in comp. They focus on your medic and sniper.
All right. I main engineer for a few reasons. The first reason being that he's the ultimate support class for people like me who like playing a support role in team games, but also like to be able to get things done in the fragging department themselves if need be. In other words, I like that engineer is a support class in the same ways that the medic is a support class, except you don't necessarily have to be 100% dependent on your teammates in order for them to protect you. Now, don't get me wrong, there is definitely a requirement of team support that needs to be put into an engineer to maximize the amount of support that gets returned, but the success and potential of an engineer is not anywhere as dependent on the competency of your teammates as medic is. So I like playing it for that reason. It's a support class with teeth. Whether you're shooting at people with your shotgun or building an aggressive sentry gun, there's always an option to take things into your own hands, and I love that about engineer. Another reason why I'm main engie is that I am an efficiency nerd, both in games and in real life. I like organization, creativity, and fine-tuning the processes of the game so that they work to the quickest of their ability and in the most effective ways possible. So when it comes to playing as the engineer, there's almost infinite ways to apply that mindset to things like sentry placement, upgrade order, metal conservation and spending, knowing how long it takes to do certain things like recharge a teleporter or rebuilding a sentry gun with the Jag versus doing it with the stock. The many complexities of engineer are overwhelming, but at the same time, extremely attractive to someone like me who, like I said, loves the idea of a character that rewards creativity, organization, and overall just applying the processes of real-life engineers to how things can be done in the game. A final reason I'll mention for why I main engineer can be summed up in one word: underdog. I have always had this weird resistance to choosing characters in video games that are widely considered to be, by the community, the best. And I will hardly ever gravitate towards the universally agreed upon metagame of games. It's actually quite contradictory to the thing I was just talking about with enjoying figuring out the most effective way to do things, because obviously if I wanted to figure out the most effective way to heal someone, I'd just play medic instead of putting down a dispenser, or I'd play scout instead of just relying on a shotgun. But I don't know, there's something awesome about taking an underrated character in a video game and doing something surprising with it. A good example is Quagsire. Now, Quagsire is a Pokemon from the second generation of games. You probably forgot that he existed. He widely is considered to be pretty low tier in the competitive scene because his stats, they just simply don't stack up to other Pokemon in his typing group of water ground like Swampert or even Gastrodon. But despite knowing that he simply isn't better than many other options, I still EV trained Quagsires. I came up with movesets and strategies that I thought would be appropriate for the metagame, and I had a lot of fun doing it. And admittedly, I didn't completely wipe the floor with people. Obviously, Quagsire can't beat a Garchomp, even if I have Ice Punch, but there were a few matches where I was able to win with Quagsire simply because the enemy wasn't prepared for such an underused Pokemon. And those matches felt great to win, and I can't really say that I'd have felt even close to as good about those wins if I were to have beaten them with a Smogon curated metagame team. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that Engineer is not the most powerful class in any of the major roles of TF2. He's outshined by Scout in the DM department, he's outshined by Medic in the healing department, and he's generally outshined by Heavy in the area denial department. But Engineer, he's a jack of all trades, which means he's spread a little thin in every area. However, I tend to look at that and I take it as a challenge. I think to myself, if I can outperform my duties on a class that everyone is already underestimating to begin with, that'd be like, I don't know, I think it'd be pretty cool. So yeah, those are some of the main reasons why I, Uncle Dane, main engineer.
So why do I, TimberFinz, main engineer? Well, I already have a video on this, which I will link down below, right next to everyone's channels. That goes in more in depth, but the key reason, the key point is that engineer is rewarding. And as Dane said, engineer is the underdog of the team. Like, heavy, I agree, is in some ways better at defending. You skill much better with a shotgun, DPS. There's all these classes that are much better, but it's just so rewarding to just outclass people as engineer. And it's especially rewarding to push your team to the front lines with teleporters, keeping up with health and ammo and metal to your fellow engineers. Although don't steal metal from an engineer who is upgrading. And it's to defend your team with a sentry gun. All this stuff is just, it makes engineers such a rewarding class, and it's so much fun to outclass other people as an engineer. It's like a soldier bombs in and you just annihilate him with your shotgun. It's so rewarding and it feels so good. And there's no other class that I would enjoy playing more than engineer. Anyways, that's why I'm an engineer. And if you also main engineer, and tell me why in the comments. Tell me why you personally main engineer. And really, engineer mains, they're just known for being chill, relaxing people who just love the class for his rewarding nature and his ability to outclass other classes. It feels so good. It's just so good. And I will see you in the next video. Adios.
Never run from a sentry gun. Cower in fear.